Good evening, everybody. Good morning, Peter. Welcome back to our European Education Info session tonight. And we are very glad to invite Peter. And he is the recruitment consultant from Tsvetkov University of Germany. And he will introduce the school and the program to us tonight as well. Peter?
Okay, thank you. My name is Peter and I represent Jacobs University. Today I will try to do the presentation in about 20 minutes. I will tell you a bit about my university, Jacobs University. And at the end I will also speak a bit about public and private universities and what you can expect from each. We will start, so let's start. So this is me, I'm the presenter. What is important is that Jacobs University, we are the only English-speaking university in Germany. Basically, that's very different than many other universities where you have programs that are, some programs that are in English. With us, all programs are in English. Basically, if you want to study in English only and you want to be in an international setting, we might be a good fit for you. You can see brief statistics of the university. If you care about rankings, you can check us on Times Higher Education. Depending on what you look at, we are, for example, for Young University rankings, we are top 20 in the world. Top 30 for young university. For small universities, we're top 20. For world comprehensive rankings, we're top 300 in the world. For us, it's more important, however, to have the right fit students. Every year we get about 5 to 10 Taiwanese students, so there is a great Taiwanese community on campus as well. We're a very small university, only 1,600 students, but very, very diverse. We're the most diverse university in Germany. And if you look into our professor numbers, you can see that the professor to student ratio is quite good, about 1 to 10 at the bachelor level and about 1 to 18 altogether, if you consider master and PhD students. We are campus university, meaning that students have to live on campus if they decide to join us. This applies to undergraduate students. So if you want to have a full campus experience, to work very closely with professors on their industry and research projects, even as a bachelor student, we might be the right place for you. We offer, in the undergraduate programs, we offer 15 programs which are in different areas. Basically, our research is structured into 3 research areas. In the area mobility, we offer programs in computer science, in electrical engineering, in industrial engineering, in robotics, and in mathematics. In the research area health, we research on bioactive substances such as biomedicine. This is our biochemistry and cell biology program. We have biotechnology, chemistry, pharmaceutical research. That's our medicinal chemistry and chemical biology program, physics, and also earth and environmental science. In addition, we also have programs in economics, in business, in international relations, and also sociology. We are a comprehensive university, meaning that we offer a broad spectrum of programs and we're not focused only on a particular field. We also have a foundation year. The foundation year is usually for students whose English might not be up to the standards, or who want to have an easier transition between high school and university. So it's not mandatory, it's an optional foundation year. Some students prefer to take it. Every year we have also 2-3 students in the foundation year from Taiwan. In the graduate programs, we have data science for society and business. This is basically business intelligence program, data engineering, a big data program, and then supply chain management, which is industrial engineering program. In addition, we have a bilingual program in clinical psychology called Psychologie, and then international relations, which is a dual degree program with one of our mother university, the University of Bremen. If you decide to study with us, you have to know that the German degree is at 3 years. So unlike Taiwan, where you have 4 years of education, in Germany, the bachelor degrees are 3 years, the master degrees are 2 years. So with a 3-year bachelor degree, with us, you will have the first year choice year. We allow students to do more than one major. For example, if you're interested in human resources, for example, you can major in business administration and in psychology. And then in the second year, you can decide which is your major and which is your minor. In the third year, we focus on the career. And here we have a mandatory internship and also an optional study abroad opportunity. I will come to the internship and to the study abroad opportunity in a bit. What you need to know about the programs, again, you have a very close relationship between professors and students. The professors act as mentors. They're there to guide you in terms of career as well. A lot of our alumni, for example, find their first jobs through the industry projects of their professors. And if you decide to do, for example, if you decide to do a study abroad, we have a lot of opportunities for study abroad around the world. You can see on the screen our partner universities. And the one thing, however, that you need to know is that you cannot go back to your home country. So coming from Taiwan, you cannot go back to Taiwan in order to do your study abroad, but you can go to any other area. For example, if you want to go to the US, we have several university partners. If you want to go to Asia, we have a lot of opportunities around Taiwan as well, including Singapore, China, Korea, and Japan. So you have really plenty of opportunities also in Europe. One of the best things about studying abroad is that you can spend a semester at another institution without having to pay their tuition fees or having to go through their admission procedure. This is especially true for the very selective American partner universities that we have. I'll come to that in a bit later. So what you can expect from us, we are campus university, as I mentioned, so bachelor and undergrad and foundation year students are required to live on campus, and master students, we provide university housing as well. We try to foster a really home away from home for our students. Because students are really from everywhere, you will be immersed in truly international setting. We have a lot of clubs and activities, and these clubs and activities actually help you also grow further as a person. So our aim is not only to prepare you to be excellent in your field of work, but also to have interpersonal and soft skills. If you decide to study with us, you will have a single room accommodation. We guarantee that for all students. The rooms look like this, basically without the rug, without the picture or the flowers on the table. This is obviously a student's room that we photographed, but more or less it looks like this. We have 4 colleges that you can choose from, and it's usually it's actually always 2-bedroom setting. You share the bathroom with another student. It's always boys and boys, girls and girls in the same apartment. Two students share one bathroom. We have 4 canteens on campus where you can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well. We are located in the city of Bremen, which is in the north part of Germany. If you decide to fly from Taipei, you have the option to change either in Frankfurt or in Istanbul or in Amsterdam, coming to Bremen. So despite not having intercontinental flights, we are very well connected. With just one stop over, you can reach the city. The city is a city-state. We are one of the 3 city-states in Germany, Berlin, Hamburg, and Bremen, which means that despite we're what is considered a small city, only 500,000 people, we have all the offerings of a large city because we're a city-state. In addition, maybe you have heard this from other German universities, students receive a travel pass called semester ticket, and the semester ticket actually allows you to travel free of charge in and around the city. I tell this because we are not in the city center, but with the public transportation, which is 24/7, very similar to Taiwan. So I lived in Taiwan, and I know how good the public transportation is. So it's very similar to Taiwan. So you can reach by bus, train, almost any spot, and despite us not being in the city center, you can actually easily reach the city center. What you need to know about the application is we have a holistic admission process, and we require English language proficiency, so no German is required for any of our programs, and we look into the merit, and this is basically the academic merit, which is through your high school report card or your Taiwanese GSAT. And then in addition, we require recommendations, motivation, and also the social commitment, so basically extracurricular activities. We are a private university, so we charge tuition. On paper, we are quite expensive university. We charge 20,000 euro per year, which is a lot when you think about it. And in addition, we charge room and board of 8,000 euro per year, which will cover the single room, all meals, utilities such as electricity, heating, and so on. Basically, you shouldn't be scared by the tuition because we are need-blind university, meaning that if we admit a student, we try to meet the financial need of the student. And we do that through scholarships. We offer full tuition scholarships. We also offer partial merit scholarships up to 75% of the tuition. And we also offer financial aid for students who don't have the full scholarship. So with a combination of a scholarship and financial aid, you can cover actually the entire tuition. The room and board, the 8,000, we don't cover. This is something the families have to be able to afford on their own. I say this because at the German public universities, usually you have no tuition fees, and you can see with our financial assistance, we can also cover the tuition fees so that we can offer similar conditions to the German public universities. We have students from Taiwan who receive full financial support, so it really depends on your financial background to determine whether how much support you will get. I just realized that this is the wrong, it doesn't matter, this is the wrong presentation, but I will just continue. I spoke about the internships before. With us, the internships are mandatory and they're part of the curriculum. So if you decide to study with us, it will be mandatory for you to do an internship. The internship can be done also in Taiwan, so we don't force our students to stay in Germany for the internship. You can go back home for the internship. But if you decide to stay in Germany, we work with a lot of companies to provide for internships. You can see just a small pick of the companies. But actually we work, I think, with about 1,200 companies. And we have a dedicated career service center that helps our students get an internship. Just a testimonial to why a lot of employers like us. Jacobs is probably one of the top universities from which Microsoft hires software engineers. This is one of the HRs at Microsoft in Germany. Our employment statistics are really good. We do our employment survey 1 year after graduation, and most students are already in employment. You can see, for me, the most impressive statistics is actually that 40% of the students get their first job with less than 3 applications sent. When I applied, when I started my career, I believe I sent over 100 applications initially before I get my first job. So this is really a truly interesting statistics. All right, so this concludes the why Jacobs part, but I wanted to share a bit about because very often we have the question why go to a public university to private university when you can study for free at the public university. So I just want to share one slide. I will talk very briefly about this, and then you can ask me questions if you have any. Basically, parents very often ask me if the private universities are better than the public universities, and I always tell that we are just very different. We are not better in any way. Well, in some ways we are, but I'll explain what I mean. It's just a very different approach to education. I put an example of the university that I attended, the Technical University of Berlin, compared to Jacobs University. I've been working at Jacobs since 2007, so I really know the university well, and I believe I also know the two systems quite well, the private and the public. What you can see is that the Technical University is much higher ranked as a general university, as a comprehensive university. Basically, they're 140th in the world. We are in the space 251st until 300 in the world. So they have higher general ranking, but when you look into the majors, what we offer very specific majors, whereas the Technical Universities offers really a broad spectrum of majors, and only few of those majors are one of the best places to study in Germany. So for us, what we try to do is we try to really focus on what we are good at, and then offer only majors within this area that we are really, really good. At the other universities, it's a bit different. They have all types of majors. At the Technical University of Berlin, you can even study German language, which has nothing to do with technical education. The professor-to-student ratio is also very different. With us, at the university level is 1:18. At the bachelor level, as I mentioned, is even 1:10. Whereas at the large public universities, you have a much higher professor-to-student ratio, 1:100. At some universities, even higher than that. This makes the professors not as available. don't get me wrong, you can always approach the professors, but it's usually they will have an office hour, and then you'll have to go during their office hours at public universities. So there's no active approach. At public universities such as ours, you'll have a professor that is dedicated to having you graduate, providing mentorship as well. So you assign to someone, and it's their duty to actually take care for you in terms of graduation, of career advice, and also involving you in their research projects. At the technical university, no room is guaranteed, and in some cities such as Berlin or Munich, you have really shortage of rooms, meaning it could be quite difficult to find accommodation in the first year. With us, the student accommodation is guaranteed. You have career training as part of the curriculum. I think this is the one thing that is really where public universities do not do a very good job in Germany. This is the career training. Basically, the career training is not embedded into the curriculum of public universities. The philosophy is that the job is to teach you something, but not to really prepare you for a career. Whereas with the private universities, you'll have dedicated career service center that will involve you from very early on into thinking about your career, what you want to be, and how to achieve that. So it's not only it's not just support in terms of write your application, but also really a long-term process where you have to think about what you want and how to achieve that. As you can see, employability-wise, we're also quite good. But generally, German universities are very good at employability. This is also partially due to the good economic situation in Germany. It's actually quite easy to get a job. Yeah, this is something that across the system, it's quite easy. A difference is, for example, also the facilities that you can use during studies. For example, at the technical university, I studied electrical engineering, and I still remember, although many years ago, that for my microphones lab rotation, my group was 17 people. We were working on one microphone as a bachelor student. At Jacobs University, basically, the lab rotations are individually supervised, and every student has access to the labs. That's a bit different. So to just put it in perspective, private universities are more student-focused. They give more attention and guidance throughout the studies, where at public universities, the philosophy is a bit, you're grown up, you're here to study, figure life yourself. Yeah. All right. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, that I think concludes my presentation. If you have questions, you can now ask me some questions, and I will be happy to answer them.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for bringing us the general information about Jacobs University. Now let's welcome the questions from our audience and attendee today. If you have any questions regarding the program or application, you can leave your message on the questions on the webinar control panel. We have the first questions. So you just mentioned what would be the general requirement to apply for Jacobs University. Can we get back to the page? Probably we can have more details about this. For example, what would be the language proficiency? For example, what kind of task certificate Jacobs University accepted, and what would be the minimum level for that?
All right, thank you so much. I will just put here GSAT. You can see here are the application requirements. What you need to know if you decide to apply to Jacobs University is that you don't need to pay application fees, and we are also not on the general platform for other German universities on the UniAssist. We are on the Common App. Application is done completely online. No need to send any paper documents to us. We will require for bachelor students high school transcript. Basically, this is the report card, ideally from grade 10, 11, and 12. We will require at least one letter of recommendation. And we will require students can apply either with SAT, ACT, Test AS, or the Taiwanese entry examination. With the Taiwanese entry examination, you have to score at least 51, I think, or 55. This is the German requirement. This applies to us as well. As proof of English, we have 90 in TOEFL or IELTS 6.5. And if you have been schooled, because there are a lot of international schools in Taiwan, if you have gone to an international school and you have learned, you have studied in English for more than 6 years, we don't require any proof of English. If TOEFL or IELTS are not available, we also accept Duolingo. Duolingo is a new test of English. You might know the app from learning a language, but they also conduct a proper test of English that is widely accepted across universities. We also accept Duolingo of 110. For us, when we consider an applicant, we would look into the high school grade. So we are looking for students who are in the area of about B to B plus and above. And then in addition, we will look into the letter of recommendation. Usually the letter of recommendation tells us if the whole application makes sense. And then extracurricular activities and writing to see if the student is the right fit for us. Unlike other German universities, we don't have grade-based admission. Basically, for us, we have a holistic admission, meaning we look not only into the grades.
All right, very good. So also you mentioned the financial aid, also the scholarship. How the student apply for that part? Are they like automatically enrolled in when they apply for your university, or should I do extra work or extra application for scholarship?
Thank you. Excellent question. Again, you don't need to apply for a scholarship. Basically, we review every candidate for a scholarship. So unlike other universities where you have to disclose how much you can afford to pay, we don't require this information. We don't require any financial commitment from the students before they actually decide to enroll with us. Basically, the scholarship is awarded automatically. So if a student is admitted, they will immediately receive also their scholarship decision. So no need to apply for scholarship. It's an automatic process. And only if the scholarship is not enough, let's say if a student gets a 10,000 euro scholarship and they cannot afford if they cannot afford the rest 10,000 euro per year, they can apply for financial aid. So for the financial aid, you need to apply. For the scholarship, you don't need to apply. The financial aid application is also free of charge. Again, for us, you don't need to pay any money until you decide to actually enroll with us. And more importantly, whenever we give a financial offer, it's valid for the 3 years of study. So from the beginning of the studies, the students will know how much is their scholarship, how much is their financial aid, and it's guaranteed that this will be for the entire duration of their studies. So they cannot lose their scholarship.
I And what if is there any like preparatory programs or preparatory year for those who are not qualified at this moment, but they might be qualified afterwards? Is there any like so-called like foundation year or preparatory program for those international students?
Yes, we do have a foundation year. The foundation year is 1 year, and if the candidate successfully passes the foundation year, they're guaranteed admission into the bachelor programs. So the foundation year starts regularly in September and goes until May. And by May, they will already know if they have passed, and if they have passed, they are automatically admitted to the bachelor programs. The only thing that you need to know, however, for the foundation year, it's that we don't offer scholarships for the foundation year. So for the foundation year, the cost of study is 28,000. We also don't have any grade requirements or any test requirements. So students can apply to the foundation year without the Taiwanese GSAT, or if it's lower than 55, they can also apply without SAT. They still have to have TOEFL of 60 or above, or IELTS of 5.5 or above.
Here comes the like two questions regarding what you just said. First of all, so for the English the language test result, is there any like requirement for validity? For example, it should be at least 2 years valid from what they have tested result, or it's fine. Like,
so unfortunately, some tests have validity. If the test has a validity, then we cannot accept it beyond the validity. For example, I think TOEFL has 2-year validity. And so if it has expired, we cannot accept it. I think we are legally not allowed to accept it.
all right. And based on what you talk about regarding the scholarship and the financial aid, which means they are not exclusive to each other. Those who get the scholarship may also apply for financial aid if they still need it. Am I correct?
Exactly. So we don't say you can apply either for you get either scholarship or financial aid. Actually, a lot of our students have both, have financial aid and scholarship.
All right. So I think we put a lot of focus on for the bachelor application. What about the master application? If they are more interested in graduate program, will be the minimum requirement for that part. Especially, does any program or any majors require relative academic background?
Okay, so the master programs, we have 5 master programs. They don't require, basically we require a bachelor degree. For that, students can have already graduated from bachelor or be in the last year of their bachelor studies. So they can apply also without having the degree yet, but they have to provide the degree when they enroll. So last year of bachelor studies, we don't have any grade requirements for that. Usually you can apply and then see if you get admitted. For the master programs, we look more into also how you will succeed future, basically any related work experience. It's good mentioning because although our programs are not executive programs, they are academic programs, we still look, this will give you a benefit if you have relevant work experience as well.
All right. Should the student come from the relative background? Like, should they have the relative diploma of bachelor degree? For example, they are interested to studying like supply chain? Shall I be coming from the same department, or should I have the similar major from their a bachelor degree?
So for the master programs, we have requirement only for 2 programs. One is data engineering. For data engineering, students have to have background in computer science or data science. And for psychology, for the clinical psychology degree, they have to have a proper psychology degree as per the German Psychological Society definition. So these are the 2 programs where we have specific requirements. All the other programs, they are broad enough to have to accept students from different backgrounds. For the supply chain management, it's a management program, so you still learn some industrial engineering. We don't have a requirement, however, that it is engineering background. You can also apply with business in that program.
So is there any like say PhD program at Jakobs University?
Yes, we have a lot of PhD programs. We also have several graduate schools. One is Bremen International Graduate School in Social Sciences, together with the University of Bremen. The ESTRES, which is a graduate school in space and environmental science, with the Alfred Wegener Institute, Max Planck for marine microbiology, also the Center for Tropical Marine Ecology, which is in marine ecology and marine biology as well. So we have several graduate schools and also a lot of individual, so research-only PhD programs. However, how application is done for PhDs in Germany is actually you have to either apply to an open position, which you can find on our website under jobs, or approach the professor directly. We don't recruit for PhD. It's very different because you get a salary, so it's a proper job actually with the PhD.
And then when we talk about the scholarship, when you show here, are these applied to like master student and PhD student as well?
So PhD students don't pay any tuition, they are paid because it's a job. So if you're a PhD student, you will actually receive salary. That's why application is done as a job through /jobs. For master students, it's similar. The only difference, however, is that for master students, the room and board is not included. So minus this 8,000 euro, master students have to cover their own living expenses. So usually the German government recommends about 10,000 euro per year for living expenses. So they have a bit more living expenses. And the scholarship, I think, for master students is up to, the total help that we can provide is up to 17,000 euro. So scholarship and financial aid does not cover 100%, such as with the undergraduates, but covers only about 80%.
Okay, I'm not sure, since you mentioned like you have work in Taipei for a period, I'm not sure whether you know there's some like technical school in Taiwan. Some of students may come from the technical school. They are not like a general university. Are they eligible to apply for Jakobs University?
So if you apply from a vocational school, probably you have to, you cannot apply with the Schweizer, I think, but you have to apply with SAT.
I see.
Yeah. If someone is from a vocational school, please, I think I have to double check this. You can actually, the best answer will be given by the German Academic Exchange, the DAD, which are situated in Göttingen. you can approach them and you can ask them, because the governmental requirements are also applied to us. So if the DAD tells you that you can study in Germany, then you can study also with us.
Probably can you introduce generally what are those programs for master? For example, for if the student is interested in business field, what would you recommend them? For example, international business or like global business or like business administration at Jakob University?
Okay, so for bachelor programs, we have business administration program and global economics and management programs. They're a bit different. Business administration focuses on how to administer business, whereas global economics is more economics program where you learn basically economics as a social science, which is a bit different. And then, of course, depending on what you want to do with business, you can supplement it with international relations, which is basically the public side, the policy making, the governance behind doing business. So the public, kind of a public administration. And also, for example, behavioral psychology if you want to do HR. This will be the fields that we have for doing business at the undergraduate level. At the graduate level, we have a program called the Data Science for Business, which is basically a quantitative program in business intelligence, how to make business decisions based on data. This is something that more and more companies are now doing. Basically, they are collecting huge amounts of data and then processing it in order to make sound business decisions. And we also have the supply chain management, which is production management. Basically, this program trains you to be a manager in a factory, to understand how supply chain works, how purchasing works, and so on. So these are the programs at the bachelor and the master level that we offer.
As we all know, like university offer like English taught program, but I believe when they study in Germany or when they live in Germany, they must probably learn a bit of like German in order to get involved in the real life. Does the school provide any like language programs or language courses for the student?
Yes, we do. Actually, it's mandatory for the bachelor students. It's mandatory to learn German at least to the A2 level. So this is mandatory for students to have at least A2 level in order to graduate. We actually recommend, and most of our students actually learn German to B2 by the time they graduate, so they have working knowledge of German. And for master students, we also provide complementary German language classes, but they are not mandatory. So German is provided as a language. Whether you need German or not depends really a lot on what kind of field you work in. For example, if you work in computer science and you want to work in startups or in large international companies such as Google, Microsoft, and so on, you don't need any German because hiring is done in English. On the other hand, if you study sociology and you want to work in a local NGO that focuses on helping a local community, probably you will need German in order to be able to work in this NGO. So it really depends on what you want to do after graduation. I tell students that Germany is a very large market, so we have a lot of international companies that hire exclusively in English. But if you want to have more options, you should learn also German, and then you have much more options for jobs after graduation. You have the right to stay after you graduate. So basically, maybe I can show in the slide. After graduation, students are allowed to stay in Germany. you have unlimited work permit, you have the right to stay, the right to also return, and with relative low unemployment, you actually have excellent chances to settle after graduation as well.
But like in general, you still recommend students to learn at least like certain level of German, say at A2.
Exactly.
In order for them to like survive in Germany, if they would like to look for like better job or better position, even it's in international company.
Survive in Germany, I wouldn't say, because people speak English. That's very that's similar to Taiwan. Even in 7-Eleven, you can like purchase in English in Taiwan. So it's similar in Germany. Like people do speak English. So it's not about surviving. It's more about like if you want to stay, probably it's better to learn some, to at least be also able to understand the culture and also integrate better into the culture. As I mentioned before, I will have to go in 3 minutes if this is okay. So maybe a final round of questions.
Yeah. So let's take the very last question from the audience. All right. I think we just have the last one already. At the very end, before we end this session, Peter, would you like to show us your like probably email or your contact information for our audience? But in case they might still have some question afterwards after they review your website and all application requirement on the website, they might need some consultants or they might still have some questions. They can still reach you, or I know you also accept like online appointment. So, but anyway, just like probably let us know how our audience or attendee can reach you online. I think we just pass a slide of your email. Yeah, here we go. So, are all the students free to book a meeting with you if they are interested?
Yes. Anyone can book a meeting. Just select a time that also suits you. You can check my availability there. Then I can answer the questions more in detail and also very specific questions. Or just drop me an email. This is entirely up to you. If you have consented to your information being sent to the university, you will also receive a thank you email from me with this information as well.
All right. So now we know how to reach you here, where to find the answers from you, from your site. But thank you for today's preparation and presentation for all Taiwanese students here. Hopefully we might get her in real person later this year.
Yes, hopefully. Hopefully.
Of course.
It's Taiwan, so I'll be very happy to visit again. Hopefully this will be in fall. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you. I know that currently there are so many online events going on, so I really appreciate you taking the time to also listen to my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you everyone participating with us tonight, and let's see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, Peter.